Taylor Swift is reportedly going through a period of deep physical and emotional exhaustion after an intensely demanding stretch in her career. Amid global attention surrounding her record-breaking tour and non-stop professional commitments, sources say the singer has felt extremely tired and has been leaning heavily on the support of Travis Kelce during this challenging time, particularly as rumors swirl about a delayed wedding. According to sources close to Swift's inner circle, the relentless pace of recent months has taken a toll. Continuous international travel, high-pressure performances, and constant public scrutiny are said to have drained her energy. From the outside, everything looks flawless, one source shared. But the exhaustion is real. Taylor keeps pushing herself, and there comes a point where both the body and mind ask for a pause. During this period, Travis Kelce has reportedly become a steady source of comfort and emotional grounding. Their relationship is described as calm and mature, far removed from the spectacle often portrayed in headlines. Rather than grand public gestures, Kelce's role has been defined by consistency and presence. He's been there in the moments that don't make it to social media, the source said, especially when the pressure starts to feel overwhelming. Public attention has increasingly focused on speculation surrounding marriage. Reports suggesting a delay quickly sparked debate among fans and media outlets. However, insiders insist the situation has been misunderstood. There's no cancellation, the source emphasized. It's about timing. Both of them are at critical peaks in their careers, and they want to make sure any major life decision happens when they're truly ready. Swift is said to be intentionally slowing certain aspects of her life, not stepping away from commitment, but recalibrating priorities. The goal, according to those close to her, is balance and long-term well-being. Kelce, who also maintains a demanding professional schedule, is reportedly supportive of this approach. Together, they have become more protective of their privacy and cautious about allowing external expectations to dictate their timeline. Another source pointed to a private conversation as a turning point. Away from cameras and public noise, Swift is said to have openly acknowledged how exhausted she felt. Kelce's response was described as steady and reassuring, offering support without pressure or grand promises. It wasn't dramatic, the source explained. It was honest, and that mattered more than anything. Fan reactions have been mixed. Some continue to anticipate wedding news, while others have voiced strong support for Swift prioritizing her health and personal space. Known for drawing clear boundaries between her art and her private life, Swift's current choices align with a pattern she has maintained throughout her career. As of now, neither Swift nor Kelce's representatives have issued an official statement. Still, those close to the couple maintain that their relationship remains strong. Any delay in wedding plans is framed not as a setback, but as a thoughtful and intentional decision. In an industry driven by constant momentum and public demand, choosing to slow down sends a powerful message. For Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, time appears not as an obstacle, but as a necessary ally, allowing them to move forward with clarity, strength, and intention. Industry observers note that this moment marks a rare pause in what has otherwise been an era of relentless forward motion for Swift. Over the past year, she has dominated headlines not only for her music, but for the sheer scale of her cultural influence. Sold-out stadiums, economic impact reports, and constant viral moments. Behind that success, sources say, the pressure to remain on at all times quietly accumulated. There's an expectation that she's unstoppable, one industry insider said. But no one is immune to burnout, no matter how successful they are. Those close to Swift suggest that the exhaustion she has been feeling is not tied to one single event, but rather the cumulative weight of years spent operating at maximum capacity. Album re-recordings, creative control battles, public narratives, and the responsibility of meeting fan expectations worldwide have all contributed to the intensity of her schedule. While Swift has often spoken about loving her work, insiders say she has recently become more aware of the cost of constant acceleration. Travis Kelce's presence during this period has reportedly brought a different rhythm into her life. Friends describe him as grounding and practical, someone who approaches challenges with a team-first mindset shaped by years in professional sports. He understands pressure in a very real way, a source said. That shared understanding has helped Taylor feel less alone in moments when everything feels heavy. As speculation around a wedding delay continues to circulate, people close to the couple stress that the narrative of tension or uncertainty is misplaced. Instead, the delay is being framed as a mutual decision rooted in long-term thinking. They're not reacting to gossip, another source explained. They're making choices based on what actually makes sense for them, not what satisfies headlines. Within Swift's broader circle, there is also an awareness that public perception often simplifies complex realities. Fans see milestones and celebrate them in real time, but the private work, rest, reflection, emotional processing, rarely becomes visible. This gap between image and reality is something Swift has navigated before, and sources say she is more intentional than ever about protecting her inner world. Observers have also pointed out that Swift's recent actions suggest a quiet recalibration rather than a dramatic retreat. She has not announced breaks or cancellations, but subtle shifts have been noticed. Fewer spontaneous public appearances, tighter control over her schedule, and a clearer separation between professional obligations and personal time. These changes are widely interpreted as an effort to sustain longevity rather than chase constant momentum. For Kelce, supporting Swift through this phase reportedly aligns with his own outlook on balance. While his career demands physical endurance and mental focus, those close to him say he values stability off the field. He's not trying to rush her or define the relationship by a timeline, a source said. He's focused on being present and supportive. The conversation around delayed marriage plans has also sparked broader discussion among fans about societal expectations placed on high-profile couples. Many have noted that public figures are often denied the luxury of moving at their own pace. In Swift's case, every personal decision is magnified, dissected, and debated. Supporters argue that choosing rest and readiness over speed is a statement of self-respect rather than hesitation. Still, curiosity remains intense. Swift's life has long inspired speculation, and this chapter is no exception. Yet those closest to her maintain that the current phase is defined more by quiet strength than uncertainty. She knows who she is and what she wants, one source said. This isn't about doubt, it's about care. As the narrative continues to unfold, one theme remains consistent across accounts. The relationship between Swift and Kelce is described as stable, intentional, and resilient. Challenges exist, as they do in any partnership under extreme public scrutiny, but insiders emphasize that communication and mutual respect are at the center of their approach. For now, there are no official announcements, no confirmed timelines, and no dramatic declarations. What remains is a picture of two people navigating success, pressure, and personal connection with caution and maturity. In a culture that often equates speed with success, Swift's reported decision to slow down, even briefly, stands out. Ultimately, those close to the situation suggest that this period may prove pivotal not because of what is delayed, but because of what is being preserved: health, clarity, and a sense of agency over life's biggest decisions. And in that context, leaning on a trusted partner is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of trust built away from the noise. As fans and observers continue to watch closely, the message emerging from those nearest to Taylor Swift is consistent. This is not a story of strain, but of recalibration. Not an ending, but a measured pause, one that allows the next chapter, whenever it begins, to unfold with intention rather than urgency. Sources familiar with the situation add that this recalibration phase has also prompted Swift to reflect on how she wants the next decade of her career and life to look. Having achieved nearly every measurable milestone in the industry, from chart dominance to cultural longevity, the pressure now is less about proving capability and more about sustaining purpose. She's reached a level where every move carries weight, said one music executive. That kind of responsibility can be exhausting in ways people don't always understand. In recent years, Swift has become increasingly vocal, through her work, about autonomy and self-definition. Insiders say that mindset now extends beyond music into her personal life. Rather than allowing momentum to dictate milestones, she is reportedly choosing intentionality. This approach, while quieter, is said to be deeply empowering for her. She's no longer chasing moments, a source explained. She's curating a life. Kelce's role during this time is often described as complimentary rather than directive. Those close to him say he does not attempt to fix situations, but instead creates space where Swift feels safe enough to be honest about her limits. That dynamic, according to insiders, has strengthened their bond. "There's a lot of mutual respect," said one friend. "They listen to each other." The couple's contrasting professional worlds, music and sports, have also played a part in shaping this balance. While their schedules are demanding in different ways, both understand the toll of public performance. Kelce's experience with physical recovery and mental resilience in high-stakes environments is said to give him a grounded perspective on rest and timing. He knows that pushing through everything isn't always strength, the source added. Sometimes stopping is. Media analysts note that public fascination with the couple has reached a level rarely seen in recent years. Every appearance, absence, or subtle change in behavior is interpreted as a signal. Yet, insiders caution against reading too much into limited information. "Most of what's happening is actually very normal," one source said. "It just looks extraordinary because of who they are." Within Swift's team, there is reportedly strong support for her decisions. Longtime collaborators and advisors are said to prioritize her well-being alongside professional success. This internal alignment has allowed her to make adjustments without the fear of disappointing those around her. She's built a circle that understands sustainability, an industry insider noted. The notion of a delayed wedding, while a focal point for headlines, is described by sources as a relatively small piece of a much larger picture. Rather than symbolizing uncertainty, it reflects a shared understanding that major life events should align with emotional readiness, not external pressure. "They're thinking long-term," said one source. "That's not hesitation, that's maturity." Fans, meanwhile, continue to debate and analyze, but there has been a noticeable shift in tone across online communities. Increasingly, conversations emphasize mental health, balance, and the importance of personal agency. Many supporters view Swift's reported exhaustion not as a vulnerability to exploit, but as a reminder that even the most successful figures are human. Cultural commentators have also weighed in, suggesting that Swift's current chapter mirrors a broader shift among high-profile figures who are redefining success beyond constant output. In this context, slowing down becomes a form of resistance against an always-on culture. "It's a powerful statement," one analyst said, "especially coming from someone whose brand has been built on relentless excellence." As for what comes next, sources remain cautious. There are no immediate plans being shared publicly, no timelines offered behind the scenes. That uncertainty, according to insiders, is intentional. "She's allowing herself not to know everything right now," one source explained. "That's new for her and healthy." Kelce is reportedly aligned with that uncertainty, viewing it not as instability but as openness. Friends say he values the present moment and is comfortable letting the future unfold naturally. "He's not counting down," said a source. "He's showing up." In the end, those closest to the couple describe this period as one of quiet consolidation. The noise outside may be loud, but internally, decisions are being made with care. Swift's reported fatigue has not diminished her passion, but it has sharpened her awareness of limits and of what truly matters. For now, the story remains unfinished. No dramatic announcements, no definitive answers. Just two people navigating extraordinary lives with an uncommon level of thoughtfulness. And as observers continue to watch, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This chapter is less about delay and more about intention. Sources emphasize that this phase should not be mistaken for withdrawal or uncertainty about the future. Instead, it represents a strategic pause, one that reflects growth rather than hesitation. Swift, who has spent much of her life planning years ahead, is reportedly allowing herself a rare moment of flexibility. "She spent decades mapping everything out," said one person familiar with her mindset. Right now, she's learning that not every chapter needs a fixed deadline. This shift has been noticeable to those who have followed Swift's career closely. In the past, transitions were often marked by clear signals: announcements, eras, timelines. Recently, however, her approach has been quieter and more fluid. Industry watchers interpret this as a conscious choice to reclaim control in a world that constantly demands access. "She's choosing sustainability over spectacle," said a senior entertainment analyst. Kelce's influence during this period is described as stabilizing rather than transformative. Friends stress that Swift's decisions remain her own, but that having a partner who respects her autonomy has made the process less isolating. "He doesn't define her direction," a source noted. "He supports it." That distinction, according to those close to the couple, has become one of the strongest foundations of their relationship. Behind the scenes, conversations are said to be centered on long-term health, both physical and emotional. Touring at the scale Swift has maintained requires extraordinary endurance, and sources suggest she has become more attuned to the warning signs of burnout. Rather than ignoring them, she is addressing them proactively. "This is about longevity," one insider said, "not just in her career, but in her life." The scrutiny surrounding her personal milestones has also prompted reflection on how much of her life should remain public. Swift has long navigated the tension between connection with fans and personal privacy, but insiders say the balance is evolving. "She's still grateful, still engaged," said a source, "but she's more selective about what she shares and when." For Kelce, this discretion reportedly feels natural. Used to media attention in the sports world, he is said to be comfortable maintaining boundaries and letting speculation pass without response. "He doesn't feel the need to correct every narrative," a friend explained. "That patience has helped keep things grounded." As speculation continues, media narratives have ranged from concern to celebration, often swinging between extremes. Those closest to Swift caution against both. "There's nothing alarming happening," one source stated, "and there's nothing being rushed toward an announcement either. It's simply life unfolding at a human pace." Cultural observers point out that Swift's situation reflects a broader generational conversation about success and fulfillment. Increasingly, high-achieving individuals are questioning whether constant productivity equates to happiness. In that sense, Swift's reported exhaustion, and her response to it, resonates beyond celebrity news. "It mirrors what a lot of people feel," said a sociologist who studies fame culture. "The difference is that her choices are magnified." Within her creative process, this recalibration may also influence future work. While no details have been confirmed, insiders suggest that periods of reflection often precede some of Swift's most introspective material. Whether or not this phase results in new music, those close to her say the priority remains well-being, not output. "If something comes from it creatively, that's organic," said a source. "If not, that's okay too." Kelce's inner circle reportedly views the relationship as steady and forward-looking, but not bound by external expectations. Friends say he values commitment that is lived daily rather than defined by headlines. "He measures the relationship by trust and presence," one person said, "not by timelines." As months progress, there is an understanding among those closest to the couple that public curiosity will not fade quickly. Swift's global influence ensures that every quiet decision sparks discussion. Yet insiders insist that this awareness no longer dictates action. "She knows the noise will always be there," a source said. "She's just choosing not to let it lead." For fans, this chapter may feel unfamiliar, less dramatic, less clearly defined. But those who have watched Swift's evolution over time recognize a pattern of reinvention that often begins in stillness. "She's always been strategic," an industry veteran noted. "Even her pauses are intentional." Ultimately, the narrative taking shape is not one of delay, but of discernment. Swift's reported fatigue has opened space for reflection, and Kelce's steady presence has provided support without pressure. Together, they are navigating an extraordinary intersection of fame, ambition, and personal connection. As of now, there are no confirmed plans, no official statements, and no definitive timelines. What remains is a portrait of two individuals choosing patience in a culture that rewards speed. And for many observers, that choice may be the most revealing headline of all. Sources say the quiet nature of this chapter is precisely what makes it significant. In an era when celebrity relationships are often defined by public milestones and rapid escalation, Swift and Kelce's approach appears deliberately restrained. Those close to the situation describe a mutual understanding that longevity, both personally and professionally, requires restraint as much as ambition. They're not trying to win a narrative, one insider said. They're trying to build something that lasts. From a broader industry perspective, Swift's reported exhaustion has sparked renewed discussion about the sustainability of modern pop stardom. The scale at which she operates is unprecedented, and with that scale comes constant exposure. Analysts note that few artists in history have maintained such visibility without interruption. What we're seeing now is the cost of being everywhere, all the time, said a veteran music journalist. Acknowledging that cost doesn't diminish success, it contextualizes it. Within Swift's professional environment, this acknowledgement has reportedly led to more deliberate decision-making. While her creative drive remains intact, insiders say there is increased emphasis on pacing. Meetings are said to be more selective, commitments more carefully evaluated. She's protecting her energy, a source explained. That's not disengagement, that's strategy. Kelce, meanwhile, is described as a stabilizing constant amid that recalibration. Friends say his approach to life outside of work has influenced the tone of their relationship. Used to seasons, recovery periods, and long-term performance cycles, he reportedly views rest as an essential component of excellence. In sports, burnout ends careers, a source close to Kelce said. That mindset translates. Public fascination with the couple shows little sign of slowing, but insiders suggest that Swift has become more adept at letting speculation exist without response. In the past, narratives often prompted artistic or public rebuttals. Now, sources say there is less urgency to address every rumor. Silence has become a tool, one person familiar with her thinking noted. Not avoidance, discernment. The delayed wedding narrative, while persistent, continues to be framed internally as a non-issue. Those close to the couple emphasize that the relationship's health is not measured by ceremonial timing. They're aligned, a source reiterated. That alignment matters more than any date on a calendar. Cultural commentators have pointed out that this moment may resonate deeply with Swift's audience, many of whom are navigating similar questions in their own lives, balancing ambition, relationships, and well-being. In that sense, Swift's experience reflects a broader cultural shift toward redefining success on personal terms. It humanizes her, said one analyst, not by diminishing her achievements, but by showing the cost behind them. As conversations around mental health continue to gain prominence, Swift's reported willingness to slow down is viewed by some as quietly influential. Without making overt statements, her actions suggest that listening to one's limits is not a failure, but a form of self-respect. That message lands, a sociologist observed, especially coming from someone at her level. Behind closed doors, sources say the couple's focus remains on day-to-day normalcy. Time spent away from cameras, routines that feel grounding, and moments that are intentionally unremarkable. It's the ordinary stuff that matters right now, said one person close to them. That's where the stability comes from. Industry insiders also note that Swift's history suggests periods like this often precede significant creative evolution. While there is no indication of immediate releases or announcements, reflection has long been part of her process. Still, those close to her caution against expecting art to emerge on a timetable. If something comes, it comes, a source said. If not, that's fine. Kelce's support during this time is described as steady and non-intrusive, reinforcing a partnership built on mutual independence. Friends emphasize that neither is subsuming their identity into the relationship. They're walking alongside each other, one source explained, not pulling, not pushing. As the months unfold, public curiosity will likely persist, fueled by limited information and intense interest. Yet insiders insist that the absence of updates is itself intentional. Not everything needs to be shared in real time, a source said. Some things are better lived first. In the larger narrative of Swift's career, this period may ultimately be remembered less for what was postponed and more for what was preserved. Health, clarity, and autonomy are emerging as central themes, values that often get overshadowed by achievement. She's choosing herself without abandoning her work, an insider summarized. For now, the story continues without a definitive conclusion. No confirmed dates, no official statements, no dramatic turning points. Just a sense of measured movement forward, guided by reflection rather than reaction. And in a culture conditioned to expect constant momentum, that restraint may be the most telling development of all. Observers say the significance of this moment lies not in any single decision, but in the accumulation of many small, deliberate choices. Swift's career has long been defined by momentum, each era flowing seamlessly into the next, each achievement quickly followed by another. Now, insiders suggest she is allowing space between moments. That space is intentional, one source explained. It's where recovery happens. This approach has subtly shifted how those around her operate as well. Team members are said to be more attentive to workload balance, recognizing that sustained excellence requires periods of recalibration. It's not about doing less, an industry insider noted. It's about doing what matters most and doing it well. Kelce's support during this phase is often described as quiet but constant. Friends say he offers stability by maintaining his own routines and boundaries, creating a sense of normalcy amid otherwise extraordinary circumstances. He brings structure without pressure, said a source close to the couple. That's grounding when everything else feels amplified. The public's fixation on future milestones continues, yet insiders emphasize that Swift is less influenced by external timelines than at any point in her career. Years of navigating public expectations have taught her that anticipation never truly ends. There will always be another question, another demand. One person familiar with her thinking said, "She's choosing not to let that dictate her life." Media analysts note that the narrative surrounding Swift and Kelce has evolved from novelty to scrutiny. Early fascination centered on visibility and contrast. Pop icon meets sports star. Now, attention has shifted to sustainability and long-term compatibility. People want to know if it lasts, one commentator observed. Ironically, the way they're handling things increases that likelihood. Within fan communities, discussions have grown more nuanced. While speculation remains, there is a noticeable increase in empathy. Many fans identify with the tension between ambition and exhaustion, between public success and private well-being. Swift's reported fatigue has become a point of connection rather than concern. It makes her more relatable, a longtime fan wrote online. She's showing that it's okay to pause. Cultural critics suggest that Swift's current chapter reflects a broader recalibration happening across creative industries. Burnout, once normalized as the cost of success, is increasingly being challenged. In this context, Swift's choices resonate as part of a larger conversation. "She's not preaching," said one analyst. "She's modeling." Behind the scenes, sources say there is no sense of urgency to define the next phase. Plans exist, but they are flexible. "Nothing feels locked," one insider shared. "That's intentional." This openness reportedly allows Swift to respond to her needs rather than adhere to rigid expectations. Kelce's perspective is described as similarly grounded. Friends say he values consistency over spectacle, and that approach has influenced how the couple navigates attention. "He's comfortable letting moments be private," a source said. "Not everything needs to be shared or validated publicly." As the conversation around delayed marriage plans persists, those close to the couple reiterate that the relationship itself remains strong. Trust, communication, and mutual respect are cited as defining characteristics. They're aligned in values, one source emphasized. That alignment matters more than timing. Industry veterans point out that Swift's longevity has always been tied to her ability to evolve. Each reinvention has been preceded by introspection, and this phase appears no different. "She knows when to move and when to wait," said one executive. That instinct has served her well. For now, the absence of concrete announcements continues to fuel speculation, but insiders maintain that clarity exists where it counts. "She knows what she's doing," one source said, "even if the rest of the world doesn't yet." As attention remains fixed on what comes next, the current moment stands as a reminder that progress does not always look like acceleration. Sometimes it appears as restraint, reflection, and recalibration. For Swift, Leaning on a trusted partner during a demanding chapter is not a retreat, but a reinforcement of stability. In the broader arc of her story, this period may ultimately be seen as a pivot, not away from success but toward sustainability. And while public curiosity continues to search for definitive answers, those closest to her suggest that the most important decisions are already being made quietly, away from the spotlight. The story, for now, remains open-ended. No deadlines, no declarations, just a deliberate pace shaped by experience, self-awareness, and support. In an industry driven by constant noise, that quiet may be the most powerful signal of all.